Hello everybody, SC2 Analyst with you today, and today is a special day because it is April 12th of 2018, which is the day that I upload my very first guide onto YouTube. Now, doing guides and giving back to the community I've been so enthusiastic about over the years has been a goal of mine for a long time, and I finally decided to break out with a Terran build order guide. Now, if you are a mid-diamond player or lower, using this guide will save you a ton of hassle and analysis and gameplay and just losing gameplay straight up, and I will be the one to personally guarantee you that you will be yodeling yourself up to Grandmaster in goddamn no time.
Lord, I don't know what I do. All I do is say,
Obviously, I cannot guarantee you such a thing as ridiculous as that, although it might not be ridiculous. Hey, don't let me stop you. But what I can guarantee you is that these build orders are going to give you a solid foundation from which to branch out and continue going on your gameplay. Now, the builds that I have here right now are gas before barracks, gas after barracks, and double gas. Two of which are, well, just expand builds, and one of which is just a one base build. And I would go out on a limb and say that at around 80% of games that I see, especially at the highest top tier levels, Terrans are just going to be using this build order. And by solidifying this build order as even a platinum or a diamond player, your first few minutes of the game are going to set you up so well that you will not even be able to compete with people of such low caliber, just because your first few minutes of the game are going to lead you into the rest of the mid game and the late game so smoothly. Now, first off, I'm going to show you the gas after barracks build order. Now, first things first, make your first SUV out of this command center. That is fundamental to playing Terran for forever. It has been and it probably will ever be. And rally it directly to your ramp. Now, with this SUV, you're going to be building your supply depot and rallying it to where you want that barracks to be eventually. And the barracks is going to be two slots or two spaces to the left of where you would normally see it if you wanted to just wall off, and that's to make room for a reactor, which we eventually will build. At 16 supply, what we're going to be doing is building your barracks, and a lot of times I like to use this engineering bay trick to kind of map out where that barracks would have to go. I don't use grid, I don't like it on my eyes very much. And speaking of eyes, I won't be going as fast as I possibly can in this tutorial, just because I want you to kind of get all of the steps very clearly and very concisely. Now, with our next SCV, we're going to rally it to our gas. Let's take this SCV and put it here, so there are 3 mining and there is maximum efficiency on that gas. Meanwhile, with this SCV, we are going to take it and rally it to this mineral patch, and then rally it to the middle. The reason being, and which you'll see in a second, is that there is actually downtime in creating that command center. When this SCV finishes, 19 supply, you build your orbital. 19 supply, build your Reaper, that'll bring you up to 20 supply, and with this build you can send it directly to the enemy base if they are Zerg, because it will be building a Marine right after. See how there's downtime? That's great. You can build our command center. And with your next available 100 minerals, make your supply depot, rally it back to minerals,
command center
and drop your first meal. Now with this barracks, as soon as your Reaper is done building, make a Marine. Hawk your Reaper, send it over. You're also going to be rallying your next SCV over here.
Not enough minerals.
And putting it here. Putting the factory there. And then getting a refinery at 20 free supply. This rallies back, and this Marine goes and hangs out here. The reason why I did this with the rally point is because, and well, I think I'm actually going to throw this Reaper over here in the corner because it's the build order guide. The reason why I do this is because if there are Earthlings that slip past that Reaper, then a Zergling would have to walk all the way across here to actually eventually get into this Marine's, well, face. And if it has to go all the way around, this is good because the Marine just gets more shots off. As soon as this is done, make a starport, make an orbital, float the barracks over here and the factory over here so you get reactor power in production. And with this build, I'm just going to go ahead and make a tech lab. That's what's commonly done. And now I'm actually going to pause it. Look at where we are at right now at this point in time. We are 3 minutes and 10 seconds into this game. And I did this build at, I would say, 60 APM, just like any Grandmaster would if they were to go for a gas after build. I could be in Platinum League and be able to pull this off if I remember the build absolutely correctly to the T. Now, the advantage that knowing build orders early on in the game has is that it gives you a significant step up against players, especially if they're mid-diamond lower. Because a lot of the times the players that you're facing do not actually have a solid foundation that this build order is going to provide for you. Now, like I said before, in the first 3 minutes and 10 seconds, I did this build relatively efficiently and effectively and just about perfectly. And if you could pull that off, you're 3 minutes and 10 seconds into every single ladder game you do this build on is going to be better than the 3 minutes and 10 seconds in that anyone else is going to be doing to you in a ladder game ever. That's if you're low platinum to high masters, it does not matter. If you're planning on doing a build order like this and you do it to the absolute perfection that you could be doing it at, you're going to be having a significant step up in your games. All right, now this build, which is the gas before barracks, doesn't deviate from the plan that we see in the first build that much, but there are a few very, very, very slight changes in the small details of the build. But one of the things that stays the same, SCV at 0 seconds, rally it to the ramp. Now that's done, you make sure you build a supply depot where you have to. Done. Now, as you had heard, it is the gas before barracks, which means at 15 supply, right now, you're getting a refinery.
Not enough minerals.
You'll never see a gas this quickly with any other race other than Terran, especially at
Additional
a
supply depots required.
decent-ish level. You rally your 16th SCV here, and you build your 16th
Not
barracks.
enough minerals.
Oh, right there,
Not enough minerals.
to wall
Not
off.
enough
And nothing's changed. 3 SCVs on that gas. And also, nothing's changed with this. You take this SCV and rally it. Simple as that. You're going to stay on one gas for a little while though, so don't get too excited about the second geyser. We'll be taking it soon enough, just like we did with the old build. But we're going to be taking it a little earlier than we did before, which was at 23 supply. Just like we did in the last build, at 19th supply, we're going to be cutting SCVs because we're going to be building our orbital command as soon as this barracks is done. So that's going to finish right now. Boom, done. Now you'll notice how much gas I have. 66. Compared to the first build, I had 0 gas as soon as I made that reboot. And nothing changes with this. Build your command center. Done. Just like that. Now at 20 supply, instead of building a supply depot, we're going to be building the factory.
Not enough
And,
minerals.
well, doing that as well. One thing that is different is 21 supply, we're going to be getting a
Not
gas.
enough minerals.
We're going to be rallying our 21st SCV, building that reactor, and getting that supply depot up for the
Not
full
enough
wall off as
minerals.
quickly as we can.
Not enough minerals.
Rallying it back and taking this SCV and putting it over here for the starport, just like before. Not a whole lot has deviated, but like I had said, there are small details that just are not the same. And well, like last game, I'm just going to be sending the Reaper diddly-do all the way over here again.
Additional
An
supply
advantage
depots
that
required.
this build has over the one I had just showed you is how fast that factory gets out.
Add-on
That factory
complete.
is not completed near as quickly with a gas after build, which means Hellions are not completed near as quickly as they would be with the gas after build.
Not
Get your orbital command, and well, we're just going to stop right here.
Paused.
Like before, 3 minutes in, we did this build just like any other High Master Grandmaster player would do it at around 68 p.m. Now next I'll be showing you the double gas opening. Alright, so this one is a spicy one. Unlike the other two builds, it is a one base opener. And I would say it is exclusively a Terran versus Terran build order. That's used normally on smaller maps such as this one. Now, like before, we send out our first SCV to not the ramp, but right here. This is map specific, but on this map, if you have 2 supply depots here, you completely wall off that little cliff or ledge. At 15 supply, just like the gas before barracks build, we're going to go ahead and get a refinery, hawk your SCV, and send it straight to the ramp so we can build a barracks afterwards. So, like before, I'm going to go ahead and do the engineering bay trick and send it right there to build the factory right after. At 17 supply, this is where the build deviates. Not only do you build a 17 supply refinery, but we're not doing this. Remember, we're getting our early gas so we can build a factory right after that barracks is done. At 18 supply, however, we do what we've been normally doing and just rallying SCVs to gases. This will normally always work. I kind of messed up there. I sent 2 instead of just 1. Defeated the whole purpose of the gas, but whatever. And a gold standard to keep track of is 19 supply. You're going to be getting your orbital command and your Reaper.
Not enough.
We're also just going to be kind of chilling here until the factory is good to go. And we'll also be building a starport as soon as that factory is done. Now, as soon as you have the money too, just like the gas after barracks build, we're going to be building a supply depot at 20 supply and rallying our guy back to the base. And where this build deviates with the production is we build a second Reaper out of this barracks. So that's something we have to really keep in mind and keep track of. So let's just say he's kind of booting around here. Kind of also want to showcase the ramp here, the ledge. Can't get up if it's totally walled off. Build your starport and build a Hellion. At 15 supply, you're going to go ahead and build that supply depot.
The Grim Reaper has arrived. Death from above.
Second Reaper is here. And as soon as that Cyclone is done, you're going to want to go ahead, or as soon as the Hellion is done, you're going to go ahead and make a Cyclone. We're not going to be keeping this this barracks around. We're going to just actually just put it right there. And we're going to open into a Cloak Banshee build. So C, E,
insufficient.
make a reactor if you'd like to. And yeah. That is at a higher level how you perform the build. Now, of course, you'll be microing with these units and eventually the Cyclone a whole hell of a lot. And this build is a lot more of an easier said than done type of thing. But if performed correctly, you are able to get more units out than you typically would had you expanded earlier, and follow it up with a Cloak Banshee. A lot of the times it's 2 Cloak Banshees. Alright guys, so as you know, this is my very first YouTube video, and I am so excited to have this up on YouTube and have people looking at it, and hopefully you got as much value out of this as far as a learning experience goes with Terran build orders as I did with, well, video editing software and kind of gauging myself on what I should be saying and all that good jazz. I do feel as if I can give a little bit of advice, especially to lower level players. I know I'm not the best player out there, but I'm really happy to be giving back to the community that I've been involved in for the past few years that I love so very much. So I hope to see you guys next time.